Did you know that bad guys can apply for credit accounts using your information, and everything they need to do it and fill out that credit application they can buy online for less than $1? That's your name, address, date of birth, social security number. So when a bad guy takes that information and they apply for a new credit account using your information, well, that's known as new account fraud. It's something that can happen to anyone at any time. But I've got a trick of what you can do to prevent new account fraud from happening to you, and even better than that, it's free. Protecting yourself from identity theft, especially new account fraud, has been kind of difficult in the past, and most people just think they have to wait until something happens and then they try to fix it. Some people even sign up for credit monitoring thinking that credit monitoring is going to protect them. But credit monitoring doesn't protect you. It only tells you after there's a problem. It'll let you know when a new application has been received by a creditor because there's an inquiry on your credit report. But do you know if that account's been opened or not? Well, let's look at how the new account application process works. If you apply for a new credit account, you have to fill out an application with a creditor. That creditor will then request your credit report so that they can review your financial history. They want to determine if you're a good payer or a bad payer. Then that way they can make a financial decision, which will let them either approve the application or deny the application. But what if you could stop the process? What if you could control who has access to your credit report? So if a bad guy tries to apply for a new credit account, that creditor is not going to see the report. And if they can't see the report, the application is going to be denied. I've got good news. You can control who has access to your credit reports. It's called a credit freeze, or it's also known as a security freeze. So what is a credit freeze? Well, the Fair Credit Reporting Act states that you have the right to apply a credit freeze to your credit reports. When you place a credit freeze, the credit reporting agencies are not allowed to reveal your credit reports to any new creditors. That could be for new account applications or increases in a credit limit. And remember, as I said before, if they can't see the report, they can't make a financial decision, the account will not be opened. Therefore, your best defense against new account fraud is a credit freeze. And it's free. That's right. A credit freeze is free for life. In the past, if you wanted to place a credit freeze, you had to pay a fee, or every time you wanted to lift it to allow a creditor to see your credit report, you might be charged a fee as well. But after the Equifax data breach, the Fair Credit Reporting Act was amended, and now it is free. It's free for life. You don't have to pay to set it up, and you don't have to pay to lift it. So how do you create a credit freeze? Well, you have to contact each credit bureau directly. You can't just call one and they'll notify the other two on your behalf. That is a fraud alert. That is completely different. A credit freeze, you have to contact each bureau directly. And the reason being is because they want to validate your identity, and 4 of the 5 bureaus will assign you a PIN number. That PIN number is what you use when you need to allow a creditor to review your credit report. Now, you noticed how I said 4 of the 5? There are actually 5 credit reporting agencies where you need to put a credit freeze. Who are they? Well, you have Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Those are the big 3. Innovis, it's a newer credit reporting agency, but it's starting to become more robust. And NCTUE, the National Consumer Telecom Utilities Exchange. This is used primarily by the utilities industry and the mobile phone carriers. So if you have a freeze with only the big 3, there is a possibility that a utilities account, especially a mobile phone account, could be opened using your information. Placing a credit freeze is very simple. Contact each bureau directly, and I recommend setting up an online account with Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. This way you can manage your freeze. If you need to allow a creditor to review your report, you just log into your account, do a temporary lift, the report goes out, the freeze goes back on. So by creating an online account with Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, it makes it much, much easier to manage. For Innovis and NCTUE, establish your freeze by calling their 800 number and using their automated phone service. You'll also use the same automated phone service in the event you do need to lift your freeze with Innovis and NCTUE. So in summary, a credit freeze is your best defense against new account fraud. It's easy to manage, it's easy to set up, and best of all, it's free. So stop paying for credit monitoring because they only tell you after something's happened, and get a credit freeze so you can stop new account fraud before it happens. All the instructions and the links and the phone numbers are available in the full article on this topic listed on my blog at carriekursky.com. There's a link in this episode description directly to that blog post. So what do you think? Have you set up a credit freeze? Was it easy to do? Did you find it difficult? Did you know there were 2 other bureaus besides the big 3? I want to hear from you. Leave me some comments below. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and if you found it to be beneficial, make sure you tell your friends about it, share it with them, and also subscribe to my channel. Until next time, stay safe.